Hello, and welcome to Blood of the Void, a Klingon live play Star Trek Adventures game. I am your game master, Aliza Pearl, and I have my players here, all ready to Klingon it up. I wanted to say a special thanks to the Stream Punks and to Eric Campbell for so graciously passing the torch to me as a game master, and for running a hell of a game last session. And you all should, if you're just joining us for the first time, that's good too, because we're kind of like starting a new story here. But definitely go back and watch the old episodes because they're pretty great. So you got a little bit of a recap already, and we're not going to take too much time before we dive into opening credits. But first, I wanted to say to my cast, does anyone have any special announcements of shows they're doing or anything that they'd like to plug? No? Is it holiday time? Everyone's just like chill, not doing other shows right now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
my plug is eat cookies.
Yes.
Lots of cookies.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yay. Okay. Well, then I also want to give a shout out to Star Trek Online for letting us use these awesome backgrounds from the game. These are actual shots from the game, Star Trek Online, of the Klingon bridge. How dope is that? I hope you can see them. I know we're little squares on your screens. But yeah, Jade has the captain's chair because she's moving into the top position on the ship. So with that, let's get into it. We begin again. A fresh start for the IKS Borku, with a recently departed commanding officer off to sulk in the shadows with Klingon Imperial intelligence. The IKS Borku is now under new command, that of Commander Adaj, formerly the first officer. After the last session's events, we pick up with the IKS Borku, just as they are about to leave space dock at Narendra Station. They've spent some time here, recovering, celebrating, rejoicing after the death of General Kargan, saying their goodbyes to Captain Bemir, newly promoted Captain Bemir. And now it's time to push off. There's been no specific orders as of yet, but you all undoubtedly have been feeling restless being cooped up on the Narendra station. And so you're back on the ship, getting ready to depart.
I don't like this chair. It feels uncomfortable somehow. Did anyone do anything to this chair? So lonely at the top here.
It's worth saying, it fits you.
Does it? Ugh. Well, did we load up that last cask of blood wine? I ordered a few extra barrels to have on board just in case. Fully stocked with provisions?
Everything is as you asked, Commander.
Okay. Let's go kill something. Maybe that will calm me down a little bit.
I like that idea.
All right. Let's get away from here. I don't like seeing the last place we left Bemir. Let's just go as fast as we can, as far as we can for now.
Course and heading, Commander?
That way.
That way it is.
So you plug in some coordinates for that way. And Amyan, let's get you to do a roll to see how well you push off from Narendra Station.
Are you looking at Control Con or?
Yeah, Control Con, difficulty 0, because you've done, this is a very simple thing for you to do.
Don't crash now, guys.
There's always the risk of complications, so.
Get enough crap from Riek. 2 successes.
Wonderful. Bank those momentum and just easy peasy. You all shove off, and the IKS Borku is gently drifting through the stars, likely at some type of impulse power. Nowhere specific to go, just to get away, just to get out into the wild and see what type of adventure you can rustle up. Not too long after you shove off, maybe 15 minutes into your journey away from the station, you get a message. Incoming message.
All right.
So you hear the alert, beep, 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 beep.
Okay. Let's do this. Open it up.
So on screen, you see a familiar face that you all have met once before and looks a lot like your former commanding officer, Bemir. IKS Borku. You do not look the same without my sister in the center chair. Not sure how I feel about it yet.
Doesn't feel the same either. What do you want?
What do I want? I want to see you. I want to see you all. We have some things to discuss. We need to discuss your place in House Quebec, my sister and my house, unless you've forgotten whose ship that is.
For a moment, and it was wonderful. Where should we meet you?
Here on Konosh. Meet me at our house. I know it will take you quite some time, as you are still in the Shackleton expanse.
We will come as fast as we can.
Good.
Good!
You see Carol just trying to look around at the ship through the view screen. Doesn't look like you've made any changes yet.
This is my ship. I am the one who commands it.
All right. All right, just come back to Konosh and we'll discuss the details of your relationship with House Quebec. And she's out. Closes her screen off.
Shall I set new course and heading, Commander?
Yes. Go. Not too fast, though.
Setting course for Konosh. Warp 6. Awaiting your engage.
Engage.
The warp coils light up and you blast off towards Konosh. This is going to take a while. This is a months-long trip. I think between 4 to 5 months. So there's a lot of the expanse to cross. There's a lot of time for you all to think about the events of what happened and connect with each other and drink blood wine and eat targ.
Captain, for what it's worth, I just thought it should be known that my birthday is in 2 months. So if I don't kill or have consensual relations with somebody, it's going to get quite out of hand in here. Just throw that out there. Just let it be known. For what it's worth. You might want to stop somewhere, raid a ship, anything of that nature.
Look, I'm like you. I am hoping we come across some pirate, someone who wants to make me angry so I can rip someone's throat apart. But we are still on a mission to get to Konosh as fast as we can.
See, Captain, we're using different words here. You said like to, I have to. Like, if I don't, I'm going to die. So,
is it that time of the decade, Kotar?
It is indeed.
Oh!
The whole half Vulcan thing. Sorry to throw that out there. I know it brings wrenches in the plan every now and again, but so I don't go on a rampage and kill our crew. Figure, we figure something out.
If you find nothing to your liking on this ship, we can find some way to accommodate your non-death. So, Ramyan, be on the lookout for anything to distract us from our mission of returning Konosh.
I'll keep an eye out for other vessels. I believe Omek may be the one in charge of looking for anything to excite our weapons officer.
Yes, I'll definitely give it a scan. Is there any way that we can maybe go hunting? Will that help satiate your hunger for killing you and the commander?
Or perhaps your thirst?
I think he's trying to satiate a different kind of hunt. Oh,
Captain gets it. Also, if it's fighting, it has to be something that can give me a challenge. I know that's your thing, Omek, but the whole hunting has never really been good enough. It needs to be a battle. The chance of death is really what pays it off. I didn't make the rules. It's just a genetic thing.
You could do it without any weapons.
It's not it. Again, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Space caterpillars turn into space butterflies. It's the same thing. They can't help it. It just is what it is.
Still a butterfly. Yeah.
Which hunt are you talking about?
I think Omek is talking about actual hunting. I like what you were talking about, though, Captain. I get the innuendo of what you were saying. I agree with that. I was just trying to address, all parties.
But you still mean it's supposed to be consensual, though, correct? I just want to be not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Never went out on the town with the homies?
No, I haven't. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot.
Well,
Sorry about that.
okay.
Oh boy. Oh man. All right. If you can, Matt, do a sensor sweep. Is there anything that can get Kotar off a ship and find liaison with someone?
Yes, ma'am. As you wish. Setting up a scan right now.
For what it's worth, it's in 2 months. It's not now. I just want to get that out the way. 2 months specifically, when it's my birthday, is when this problem arises. I'm just trying to get ahead of the situation. Okay? Like, if we do it right now, it's not really going to do anything.
Noted. Long-term scan.
If it is in 2 months, and we shall arrive at Konosh soon after, whatever will tide you over, as it were, right, Kotar?
Okay, this is out of my hands now, guys. I told you what you choose to do, you choose to do. We'll see. I'll go meditate.
I'm thinking maybe is there something that we could replicate? Maybe
one does not replicate something to quench a warrior's hunger for battle or thirst for other things.
You can't replicate Ponfar, okay? So I keep trying to tell you. On top of me being a Klingon, which is even more so, I need the thrill of battle. I will literally kill this entire ship.
Ramyan, increase warp to 8.
Aye, Captain. Commander. Warp 8.
Omek, you wanted to do a sensor scan, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's have you do sensors. What are the roles? What do you usually roll for that? Control science? Or no?
Yes.
Great. Control science. Who would like... Oh, sorry?
You're right. Let me mute myself. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. And then who'd like to roll for the ship? Have someone roll for the ship.
Captain's prerogative.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. Commander Dodge rolling for the ship. Sensors, science.
I misspoke. It's actually reason science. Sorry.
Oh, great. Okay.
1 success.
Oh, the difficulty was also 0, by the way.
2 successes.
Okay, bank those 3 momentum. Omek, you see on your sensors, you do a long-range sensor scan because there's, you've pushed off from Narendra. You know Narendra is near you, but what you're really looking for is things that are further out in the direction you're going. So you do a long-range sensor scan, and what pops up is that there's not much out there. You're going to be passing through pretty far between different star systems in this first leg of your trip. But what you do see is there is a ship pretty far out, a few days out. And you don't know anything about, you're a bit too far to pick up any other information about the ship. And it's almost directly on your path. So it is a ship that you will at least pass by. It doesn't seem to be moving either.
Commander, I'm not sensing any life forms, but I do see a ship ahead. It's in our direct path of flight. Do you want to inspect it? Do you want to wait? It's really up to you.
There's no more information about it? Let's just keep going until we get closer and then try and incorporate it or kill it or let it go.
You got it, Commander. I'll actually, once we get closer, I'll be able to see if I can sense any life form activity on the
All right. Sounds good. Let's go.
All right. So you can continue on your journey knowing that there's not much out there except a ship that's somewhere along the path. And unless there's anything else someone wants to do, we can cut to getting closer to that ship. Is there anything else anyone wants to do? Okay.
I just want to note that I adopted a cat when I was at Narendra Station, and it's in my captain's room. And I spend a lot of time with my cat, complaining to it about being the captain. And that's who I talk to about all of my problems is my cat. So I just want that known in the universe.
Wonderful. I'm just wondering if the battle shrimp is safe with the cat nearby.
Yeah. They did not like each other at first, but they've learned to respect each other's territory. The battle shrimp does come out of its tank every so often and scare the cat. The cat is a domestic tabby, but they have learned to respect each other's space after clawing at each other. They both have claw marks on their skin, but it's like a battle of honor or a badge of honor.
Great.
And the cat's name is Tack.
Tack. Great. Good Klingon cat name, Tack. Great. So during these few days, Commander Dodge, you spend lots of time with your new cat, Tack, and watching Tack and your battle shrimp playfully bat at each other and take swipes and get to know each other. I'm imagining Kotar also spent a lot of time meditating during these few days. And so after a few days pass, you start to get closer to where this ship is, and gonna drop out of warp right before you get to it. And you are now close enough to do another scan and also to get a visual of this ship as well.
I got my dice ready.
All right, go for it. Do that scan. Same roll. This is difficulty 0.
Oh, nice. 2 successes then.
2 successes.
Me too. Do I help? 1 success.
Great. Yeah, bank all that momentum, and you can spend it for information now too. The momentum on top of the momentum.
Yeah, we had 2 extra momentum, so I want all that information.
All right, you got it.
Worth.
What's
I
that?
think we're filled up.
All right, great. Okay, so Omek, you throw this up onto the view screen as you also read back what you find to your commander and the senior staff on board. You're seeing a Rigelian freighter. This is a small freighter ship. It's scale 3. Compared to your scale 5, it's pretty small. It seems to not have moved at all, just barely drifted from where you had last sensed it on your way over here. You are seeing everything looks pretty intact. Although with that momentum spend, I will tell you 2 things that you also find on your scan. There are 2 life signs on board that you're picking up. And the second thing that you see is that there is a bit of scoring on their hull. So they did receive some type of weapon fire. They're still intact. Seems like their systems are doing okay otherwise, but they're just adrift in space.
Am I able to, with knowing that there is life form on this vessel, am I able to figure out what type of life form, what type of species they are? No.
Yeah, I will tell you this. Their life signs are strong. You can't really tell like what type of species they are from your scan, but you can just see that they're in good health. I'll tell you that.
Commander, I'm picking up signs of life on this vessel. I don't know if you want to go ahead and make contact with them.
And who are these life forms?
I do not know.
Who are they?
I have no idea, Commander, but I'm maybe to correspond with. Say again?
Disappointing. Very disappointing.
The sensors aren't up to grade. I'm sorry, Miss. It's the ship.
Can we hail them?
Is there any, can you scan? Is there anything valuable on board?
Unfortunately, it doesn't say anything like that. The sensors, like I said, are pretty antiquated. There's no way for me to kind of see if there's anything of value. As far as life forms, it's just little blips, and they look healthy and strong, but I don't know who they are. So, I mean,
Captain, I think we should hail them.
All right, if that's what you think is best, Kotar, let's go ahead and do that. Hail frequencies.
Okay. So you open up hailing frequencies to the ship. And there's no response, even just to your initial ping of opening hailing frequencies. You get nothing back.
Oh, Mech, I thought you said the ship was in good shape.
there are scores on it, but I mean, it's still operating. It says that it's fine. For whatever reason, they are not corresponding with us.
And you said they have not moved since we first saw it?
No, the ship itself has just been kind of just floating in our path. But it looks as though there are people on the ship.
This could be bait or some sort of trap. And Coach,
Yeah.
I think this is exactly what you've been looking for.
Nope, not my birthday yet. GM, question.
Yes.
Do we have like body camera type situations? Can I send some people over there to see what's going on and we watch from our screen? Like, is that a possibility?
Unfortunately, your fleet is not equipped with body cameras.
Ah, damn it. We got spaceships. We don't got no body cameras.
Yeah, they didn't.
Wow.
They didn't. Body cams
Wow.
didn't make it into
Like
the
the Los
Klingon
Angeles police.
feature.
This is ridiculous. Well,
I will tell you this though. If anyone has any knowledge about ships and you want to do a roll to see if you can recognize, like, get some information about what this type of freighter might carry, you can try to roll on that, or you can go see what's over there.
Oh yeah, Ram, aren't you like our communications helms person who goes to libraries and reads books? Do you know any information about how we can look up a catalog of where this freighter is might be carrying, what kind of merchandise or inventory it might have? Or
For one, the helm merely drives the ship. And I'm more familiar with the internal workings of the Klingon Empire, rather than cargo carriers of, what did you say, Omek? Rigel?
Rogelian. Just use a computer and ping it! Query it for the inventory! Do you want me to slap you out of that chair, Ramyan?
Would not have been the first time.
Carry out my order.
Aye, Commander. Searching for information about Rigelian cargo ships.
Okay.
I search for information about Rigelian cargo ships.
Great. Okay. Yeah, you can. Let's say you look through the Klingon database for some type of information. Okay.
What role would it be, if any?
Let's have you do. I should have had a character sheet up. Let's make this insight engineering.
Okay. And what's the does the ship help? And if so, what is the ship role?
Sure. The ship. The ship does help. I'm sorry, I didn't have the ship sheet open. New GM problems. What would the ship role is the question. Let me get the ship sheet open real quick.
Computers or communications?
I would say computers.
Definitely not sensors. Definitely not sensors, because
Computers is the same. Our ship ain't a thinky ship.
It's not a thinking ship. Computers. Computers engineering. You're looking up some ship databases.
No.
Engineering databases. We also do have an engineer on board.
Oh, surprisingly, 2 successes.
Great. Oh, I didn't give you difficulty. Difficulty was 1. So good for you. This is a very loose game.
Are we at 4 or 3 saved now?
Oh, we're still at 6. We had
Yeah,
extra from last time.
Yeah, what does the ship get?
I got 0.
Okay, so 2 would mean 1 extra? Yeah. What kind of ship is it?
All right. So, like we said, this is a Rigelian freighter. The database also has marked this as specifically a freighter that belongs to the Jelna people of Rigel. Rigel has 3 different species, 2 of which are humanoid, 1 of which is not. It's kind of like a tortoise. This is one of the humanoid. I know. Sorry. This is one of the humanoid species of Rigel called the Jelna that owns and operates this type of freighter usually. Based on its shape, the Klingon database has recorded information. Not many people have been on this type of ship, but from what they've gathered, it's a type of freighter ship that has large cargo bays. It also is used for specialized materials and materials that need to be either like held in some type of stasis or temperature control. It also is, I will give you this. This is a ship. The Rigelian freighters are very economically smart. They're not really fighters per se. They will fight if they have to, but they are more just merchants, and they want to just get things bought and sold and just live peaceful lives.
Omek, is there any way you can search for bombs, or if is Trillium D the thing that made me trip last time? Either of those things on the ship, and if there aren't, I'll just go check it out right now.
Other than that, it seems that they would just be carrying specialized cargo, but they are more prey than predator in this part of space.
I'll bring the boy and a couple more from my department, and then we will go check it out.
Yeah, there could be all kinds of good stuff on the ship, and maybe we can see if there's something wrong with it that's not hailing us, so that we can maybe take the ship with us if need be. Let's form a launch party.
You got it. Should I go ahead and scan for Trillium D or traces of it?
Or a bomb.
Or a bomb. Okay. Yeah.
Feel free. Go ahead. Do the scan.
Your scanners from like off of the ship are not going to be able to pick up that type of thing. You're going to need to go on and be in the atmosphere and see what might be on there.
All right. Who is ready to go on board this ship?
At that moment, the elevator doors open onto the bridge, and your engineer, Riek, steps onto the bridge. Why are we stopped? What is this? I heard we had to get back to Konosh. What's going on?
This is potentially a little prize booty that we can acquire on our way back. We're going to go investigate and see if there's anything worth on board, whether it's lives or goods. So we're forming a landing party now.
Riek looks over at the screen and, I've seen a couple of those in my day. It's just sitting there? Is it abandoned? Was it attacked?
There's 2 life forms on there, and we've opened frequencies, but they haven't responded. The ship seems to be fine. Perhaps, if you know it well, Riek, would you like to go over and see if you can maybe jumpstart the ship somehow?
Yeah, I'd like that. It's been boring around here. I'd like something to do.
I second. I'll actually go with you, Riek. I'll report back to you guys and tell you if I see any Trillium D, certain species, anything, any kind of information. Once I'm there, I'll be able to tell you.
Great.
All right. Sounds great.
Who else would like to go to the ship?
I want to go. Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
Oh, then screw. Yeah, I'm going.
This ain't no Starfleet. This
We are
ain't
not
no
a Starfleet vessel
Enterprise.
with limitations on who may go on away missions. A warrior steps up to the front lines of battle.
Good. I want to get out of his chair. I'm ready to go.
I'll wait.
Ramyan, can you maybe sit back, just given the history of you and Riek? Just for right now, things aren't. I mean, I know you guys are cool, but you know.
Oh my God, I wanted you to go for the exact same reason.
I don't know what you're talking about. Riek strolls over to Ra'amyan and just kind of like gently plays with his shoulder. We're best of friends, aren't we, Ra'amyan?
Oh, what a turn.
Of course. A Klingon ship is only as good as the solidarity of its crew. And apparently, Riek has found reason to actually leave for once.
Yes, I have.
All right.
Well, are we going or not?
Well, we're going. Did you all quash your beef that you have with each other? No beef to be had here. Huh? We better work together because we're all going. And if anyone dies, I'm blaming you, Riek. I'm blaming you.
I am just an engineer.
And the
That's
most
all.
experienced and gifted one amongst us all. Now get ready and let's go.
All of us, or merely the smaller group?
I'm not going.
Okay, so who all is going? So it's Ramyan, Idaj. Omek, are you going?
I'm going.
Okay.
Does
So
that mean Kotar has the bridge?
Kotar has the bridge.
Oh boy.
What could go wrong?
Don't blow us up while we're there.
Let's hope Panfar doesn't come too soon.
We know what happened here. If your cat goes missing, we know what happened.
All right. So you all, let's say you have someone else in the engineering department beam you all down. Not going to make us roll for that. Pretty simple. There's no shields up. This is literally just a sitting duck. Strangely sitting here. You all beam down onto the center of the ship. And as you rematerialize, you see you're in a corridor, center of the ship, top deck. And you see on the walls markings in a language that you don't, I don't think any of you speak Rajelian Jelna, but you see 2 hash marks, just kind of sporadically throughout the halls of this deck. You also
Hash marks, like written hash marks?
they're kind of carved into the metal of the walls.
It's not meant, the ship wasn't meant to have that there, right? Like it was added.
No, yeah. It looks like it's meant to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're in this long hallway. The shape of the ship is also long. It's kind of like a thorn. So the front of the ship is pointed downward and it's kind of like a sharp tip. That's where the helm is and the bridge. And then the center, the body of the ship kind of gets wider as it gets to the other end, which is where all the engineering is, the back of the ship. And then in between those 2 ends of the ship, it's lined with cargo bays.
Shall we make our way to the leadership, or should we go straight to engineering to see if they have some engine trouble?
Now that we're on the ship, excuse me, can we do a scan to see where the life forms are?
Yes,
Sure can.
that's what I was going to suggest before we head in any direction.
Go ahead and do that scan. Same scan. Sensor scan. Reason science, sensor science. Difficulty is 1.
2 successes.
All right. Ship get anything?
One success.
We're
Y'all
not
are.
on the ship, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah,
right. Sorry. Yes. So never mind the. My bad. Never
Cool,
mind.
too busy killing a cat. You can't scan.
Okay. So yeah, from your tricorder now, Omek, you are seeing the 2 life forms. One of them is towards the front of the ship, kind of like hanging out near the cockpit, I guess you could call it, just outside the cockpit. And then in the opposite direction is the other life form. And it's kind of near the next to last cargo bay. These are, by the way, the lights are very low in this hallway. And so, and with this being a small but long ship, you can't really see all the way down those corridors. But if you were to start walking in a direction, then you would, at some point encounter these life forms.
There appears to be someone towards the front of the ship. If we head there, maybe we could see. I don't even know why no one was down here as soon as we rematerialized. Something's a little fishy, guys. I don't know what's going on, but maybe if we go towards the front of the ship, and since that's where someone obviously is flying it or controlling it, we could maybe have a better idea.
We still have our comms open, right? Like we can talk freely on the ship. I want us to split up and sprint towards each end and surprise the people in case there's anything malicious afoot.
Yes, Commander. Me and Riek will go towards the front.
Should we perhaps have
Towards
Kotar ready?
engineering. Go towards engineering with the engineer. we will go towards the bridge.
You got it, Commander.
All
Just
right,
we have Kotar
Commander.
ready to bring us back should there be a trap.
Yeah, Kotar, are you still there? Are you watching and listening?
Yes.
All right, go. And we're going to take off sprinting towards the bridge.
All right. So who's going which direction?
Towards the bridge with Ramyan.
Okay. 2 of you going towards the bridge, and then Riek and Omek going towards the back, towards engineering.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the 4 of you split directions, and your boots and Klingon bodies are, the sound is like very loud, the sound of you running. And as you're running towards the front of the ship, you definitely hear some movement ahead of you, but no one appears, no one comes towards you. You run towards the front of the ship, you get there, and you don't see anyone.
If I'm loud. This is Commander Adaj. Come out from hiding. Any
If we
response?
wanted to kill you, we would have done so already. So clearly we have come in good faith.
No response. Ramyan, can you do a scan? Where is this person?
I shall try. I
Okay.
awkwardly take out my Klingon tricorder.
Mm-hmm. So you do a scan. I guess we'll have it be reason science.
All right. I believe I remember how these things work.
Difficulty is 2.
Oh. I'm going to use the momentum.
How much do we have? How much momentum do we have?
We maxed out.
6.
I have only 1 success.
Oh, okay. And I'm also spending threat because for some reason your tricorder just is now not picking up any life signs and seems like it might have a short or something. And as you're trying to read the maybe broken tricorder, you both hear something above you. And the instant you look up, a body drops down on you.
Ah!
Commander, that's your trick.
I know. I usually drop down from the ceiling. I'm gonna.
And by body, I mean a person. It's not like a dead body. This person drops down on you, pushes Ramyan up, and pins you against the wall. Klingons, I thought you'd be easier prey. And he pushes his foot out and pins you against the other wall.
Who is that? What does he look like? Or am I pushed away?
No, you can see, yeah. So this person is tall, about 6'2", wearing full body, scaly, dark gray armor with spikes all over it, sharp, almost aerodynamic spikes. Form-fitting helmet, respirator mask. The skin underneath is kind of like tan, mottled, tan and brown, shades of tan and brown. This is an alien life form that you've never seen before.
And we're both pinned against walls now.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have my hands free, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take out my dick talk from inside my coat and slam it into his calf.
All right. Go for that. Let's say that's daring. And I mean, I know you have that medicine one that something you can use medicine to. Yeah,
I use my medicine instead of security.
Great. Especially since this is with a knife surgery.
3 success.
Difficulty. I was gonna say the difficulty is 2. So great, you passed that. Got that extra momentum. You very easily and successfully just land your dick talk into this person's calf. Yells out in pain and kind of loses his balance a little bit, still has you pinned, but you're able to kind of get a bit more of upper hand.
Mm-hmm. Are we still battling, or is this still just a gentle interrogation at this point?
Well, you've now stabbed this person, so he's gonna come after. He's gonna come back for a hit.
Oh, sure.
But you have a chance now to.
If I've already stabbed him, I'm gonna leave a dig tuck in there. And I'm gonna try and slam my elbow into the knee crease to get myself loose from being pinned against the wall, and also yell out, "Who are you and why are you kicking me?"
All right. Describe to me where you want to end up. What do you want to?
I want to, if he has me pinned against the wall with his leg, I'm gonna take my elbow and like bang it into the crease behind his knee so that his leg ends, so I can wriggle free and get out of there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, since you actually like were successful in that last roll, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, between you stabbing the calf and bending the knee with your elbow, yes, you're able to get out of there. He kind of bends and turns, loses his grip on Amyan as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna dart far away and just yell at him with my vocal delivery, which is one of my focuses. Who are you and what are you doing here?
All right. So he's now pretty much on his knees, kind of trying to keep a hold of Ra'amyan. But Ra'amyan, you definitely have the upper hand here if you want to make a move or do something.
If I comms our ship, is that a full action, or can I do that while doing something else?
That would be an action, yeah. To call the ship.
I back off and I pull a dick talk out.
Okay.
But then I call Kotar and say, there may be playmates for you here if you wish to join us, Lieutenant.
Do you need my help, Ramyan?
This is a gift, not a cry for help.
Sounds a little bit like you just don't want to admit you need my help. But I'll come save you.
During this conversation, he is pulling himself up by the wall and looking at you. All right. Maybe you are tougher prey than I thought. And he turns and goes down. There's some stairs right behind him, and he goes down them.
Yo, just leaves.
Meanwhile, Omek and Riek have run to the back of the ship towards engineering. And similar to your companions in the front of the ship, you sense that someone is ahead of you in slight movement, but they don't come towards you. As you approach, you again don't see anyone.
Riek, I'm going to do a scan and see if anyone or that life form that I did scan earlier is in the area that we are. While I'm doing that, you want to go ahead and have a look at their warp core or their engines?
Gladly. Riek goes up to the engineering, basically the back section of this deck is all engineering equipment. So Riek walks up to it, starts to take a look, takes out her tricorder, scans things. Go ahead and you just want to do another straight sensor scan with your tricorder?
Yeah, because it's kind of weird that life form is not where I thought it was. Yeah,
and if you like, you're so loaded up on momentum. If you have a successful roll right now and you spend momentum, you can actually create some type of like live alert tracking thing. So you don't have to keep scanning to track these life forms.
Okay, I'll do that. Yes, I'll spend the momentum.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and roll.
All right.
This is going to be reason science, correct?
Yes, reason science.
Okay.
Are you spending momentum for die or for the effect later that I'm...
Oh, I wanted to spend it for the effect later. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. That's cool. The difficulty is going to be 2 for this.
I only have 1 success.
Okay.
You spend momentum to reroll, right?
Oh.
Do you want me to spend it to reroll? Yeah,
we have a lot. Do it.
Let's do it. Let's do
Great.
it.
And give the count after you use it, because I've lost count.
3, I believe. Hey, got a success. There we go. Okay.
Great. Okay, so now you have 2 successes?
Yes.
All right, great. And then you spent that other momentum. So yes, you're able to not only beautifully, cleanly see where these 2 life forms are, you now are able to just have, basically it's a little map of the ship that is showing you where they are at all times, little red dots on your tricorder. So the one at the front of the ship, you see that it has remained on this deck and kind of in that same area. And yeah, well, in timeline wise, it's still up on this deck. The one that's closer to you is still close to you. It's just a few feet away from you. You're guessing that it's behind a door, one of the cargo bay doors.
Am I sensing threat or what am I sensing? Can I do a scan on myself?
Yeah, you can totally do insight. Let's see. I mean, maybe insight security, because you're kind of assessing if this is a security risk.
Yes. Okay. I will do insight security.
All right.
Let's see. No difficulty?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's make the difficulty 3. You're in a foreign ship. It's dark. You're not sure what is going on.
Hey, I got 2 successes, y'all. I'm on a roll, bro. This is crazy.
Okay. The difficulty was 3.
Oh, shit. Hold up. Hold up.
Do you have anything to re-roll or?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of get quiet for a second and you try to just like listen to see if this person is like shifting their weight or anything. You're not really getting anything. But you are standing in front of a cargo bay door. About 5 to 6 feet towards the back of the ship is Riek standing in front of that engineering console, looks like making some type of progress and at least starting to understand what things mean, what things do.
I feel like I'm going to use my Klingon curiosity. I'm like one of those guys in the horror films that end up getting killed because he was so curious. Like, what is that? Let me go investigate. So I'm going to go do that because...
Don't jinx yourself, bro.
I feel like I owe it to everyone to investigate and see what's going on.
You're a hunter. You don't have any like focuses or like anything that can help you with this?
Oh, that's true. You know what? That last roll, oh man, that would have been good to use that focus.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't really have any focuses.
You can if you want to use your hunting focus and you're gonna go investigate, I'll totally, I think that would apply there. Oh, you're muted.
That's good, because I'll be able to camouflage with the door or something.
Yeah. You'll at least be able to slink in and maybe, I don't know, have some advantage over your prey.
I'm opening the door though. The doors are like they open up, they're huge.
It's not about opening the door per se. I mean, whether you'll see if it's locked or not in a second, but I'm thinking more you're hunting someone, you're following someone, you're investigating. You know that someone's behind that door. So
okay, I'm gonna go track them.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Go ahead and let's do that same roll, insight security, or let's do insight command. No, we're gonna do daring security because this is a pretty brave move. And if you'd like to use your hunting focus, you can.
Okay. All right. Doing it.
All right. Sorry. So you're you're just entering this place. The difficulty. Let's make the difficulty 2.
Okay. One
success, or you rolled a 1. You're muted again.
No, just 1 success. Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, once again, your I don't know, your hunting juices are kind of off. You haven't been hunting in a while, so you're just kind of rusty. But you do go ahead and open that cargo door, and it is a door that opens from the bottom up. And so as you pull that door up, once it gets about like to your shoulder height, someone scoops you, spending threat. Someone scoops you, pulls you into the cargo door, closes it behind you, and they're on the outside now.
Man. Okay.
Outside the door, after a few moments, you hear Riek. Hey, what? Ah! And you hear the sounds of hand-to-hand combat, fierce hand-to-hand combat. On the other side of the ship, the other prey has now gone down onto the lower deck. The two of you are standing there. What would you like to do?
Shall we give chase?
I mean, he pinned us pretty well that first time. I do want to chase him down, but I also want to know what species is he? Who or that? Who? What is going on? Who is here? Someone
the bridge
dropped down from a ceiling and pinned both of us against two walls.
Is the bridge accessible?
Yes, it's open. But there's like a hatch type of door, but it's open, so you can look inside.
Shall we take a look inside and keep an eye on that doorway?
The hatch? Sorry. So that person dropped down into something else?
There's basically like a little, I mean, for lack of a better term, like a spiral staircase. It's not really a staircase. It's kind of like a sloping thing. I guess a spiral ramp. And so he went down that ramp to get to the lower deck. I think I said before, but I may not have. There's 2 decks on this ship. So you've been on the upper deck this time.
All right.
Let's see what happened from the bridge, but keep an eye out.
Is the bridge working at all, like the computers?
Yeah, it looks like things are, there are lights on, and you don't recognize the language that things are in, but it seems like it seems like some things are powered on and some things are powered off. It's kind of like, someone turned off some systems and then stepped away, but left other ones running.
But because it's a language we don't know, that we can't use computers.
You can see if your tricorders can pick up, some type of. I don't think Klingons have universal translators, but you can totally try to translate some things. See if you can figure out what these knobs and whistles mean.
I'm gonna see. I'd like to see what the ship last encountered.
Sure. Okay. All right. Let's have that be a control engineering roll. Do you have any specialties or focuses that might help with this?
Do you?
Can the ship help at all? What is Kotar doing? Is he coming to this ship, or is he still chilling on the bridge?
Oh.
I grabbed my bet-lath. I made the boy bring it to me, and I was walking towards the thing, but y'all had a lot going on, so I was letting you do you, figuring it out. I'm just taking my time, putting my armor on and such.
I'm also dying, so if anybody wants to help me, I mean, is there a way that I could just touch right here and be like, hey, what's up, yo, I'm
On
dying.
the thing, as I'm walking to the transporter, I'm calling it. I'm like, which one of you all needs my help more? I'm assuming it's not Idaj. So what's up with you, Omek?
A little help. Something grabbed my legs, swept me. I don't even know what this life form is. Some sort of, I have no idea. My tricorder sucks. It doesn't work. I need help, man.
All right, I grab my gun and I grab my bet-lath and I go, beam me to wherever Omek's position is, to the people in the front group.
All right, he's in engineering, but I think we're still with the bridge people. I was gonna command Ramyan to do hack into the computers as best as he could using the Borku, try and figure out what information he can gain from this. So if you can do a reroll if you need one with my advisor talent.
Okay, that's only if you're assisting me with the command. Can Edaj assist me with the roll?
Oh, sorry. You're asking me.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what'd you say again? Control engineering?
Yes.
And then what is Edaj assisting with?
Let's say
Yelling.
I mean, then I was gonna, yeah, maybe it's like something command. Control command.
Sure.
All right, let's see. What's the difficulty?
Oh, this is gonna be pretty difficult. So you might need to use this. This is difficulty 4. And remind me, you are trying to see what last happened on this ship, right?
Like what the ship last encountered before. Okay. Because if it's been just sitting here, it encountered something, and then it's just been sitting here since.
Great. Okay.
And you're taking an extra momentum for... Well, you get a reroll from my talent.
Yes. I do have a focused threat assessment. However, my engineering is 1, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I see. If you can explain to me how you might use some other discipline, then I'd be open to that.
If I use con, I can see when the last time the ship had took maneuvers instead of just trying to access a sensor system.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I have helm operations on top of threat assessment. So
there you go. So yeah, this is more like you're looking at it as a pilot now instead of as an engineer or yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
you're going to take an extra momentum to re-roll or take another die, right?
Yeah, let's do that. What are we down to? 2?
Yeah.
After this, we have 3. I'm using 1. Cool. One, 2. The third roll. 3 plus the focus makes 4. 4 successes.
Woo!
And Edaj is assisting, right? So Edaj can make a 1 die roll, like a d20 roll.
And got 1 success, it looks like.
So 5?
Wonderful. So you bank 1 momentum. And yes, your skill as a pilot on Klingon ships, and also just as a smart Klingon, you managed to figure out it's not even a language translation thing. You just figure out from the increments on the knobs and dials what they do for the ship. And so using that knowledge, you then are able to find what their log is, what the ship's kind of like a black box recorder that's built into their console. So you open that up, and on the console, you see a record of, it's kind of like an automated log of what has happened on the ship recently. So it was on its way to a planetary system that's about 40 light years from here. It encountered another ship on its sensors, a ship that it did not recognize. It engaged, before that, its life forms from the other ship attempted to beam onto their ship, and were successful. They engaged in battle both on board and with the other ship. The other ship was destroyed. It's unclear as to whether it was destroyed by this freighter or not, but the other ship was destroyed. And that's the last thing that's recorded.
With Edaj still there, I also activate my comms. Everyone, the ship was attacked, and while their attacker's ship was destroyed somehow, they were indeed boarded. We encountered 1 assailant. There may be more. Stay alert. Not knowing that they know.
Great. Okay, so meanwhile, on the other side of the ship, Kotar has beamed in. Is that what you wanted to do, Kotar? Okay, you beamed into the location of
Specifically
Omek.
on top of wherever Omek is.
Great. So you've beamed in right next to Omek. Omek, you're actually behind a door right now. So you got thrown into the cargo bay, and then the person who threw you in stepped outside and shut the door behind you, and has been engaged in combat with Riek.
In that case, can I take my back? I didn't understand that. I thought
Okay.
what you were saying was he picked up the door, the dude smacked him under, and was like beating him up.
No. Omek is inside the cargo bay door.
Oh, well, then forget him. Let him stay out there. I want to be down where
Okay.
Riek
I
is.
will. Okay. Yeah, I'll totally let you adjust where you are because, like, I feel like if it had been clear, Omek would have been like, "Go help Riek." I think that's, so. Yes, you can beam in near Riek if that's what you want to do.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
Okay. So you beam yourself down with your batleth in hand. As you rematerialize, you see Riek slumped against the engineering console with a very grievous wound in her side.
Okay.
Really bad. It looks actually like a weapon, like she was shot with a weapon and is just very severely wounded. Kind of barely conscious at this point. You don't see the assailant.
Oh, the one that looks as though your bark is indeed more vicious than your bite. What is it that has done this to you?
It was so fast. I've never seen anything like it. Some kind of warrior, I guess. She's kind of fading in and out.
I'm going to call back to the ship. Beam back, Riek, right now, please.
Okay. And within a moment, Riek dematerializes and is beamed back onto the ship.
Can I look around? I want to look around if there's any sign. How do I get Omek out? Actually, I forgot. How do I get him out? How do I get him out?
All right, you go over to that cargo bay door.
Do I have to just lift it? Can I like open it? How do I get it? Okay.
Yeah,
can I lift it up and let him
you
out?
can just open it.
Like, what's this, man? What's going on?
That's all it took? You just lifted it up like that?
Yeah, why didn't you do that?
I don't know. I thought I needed to like hotwire it or something, or call Ramyan to help me out and try to crack. I don't know, man. Thank you. What happened? There was a lot of commotion going on over here.
Riek almost died while you were over here dilly-dallying or whatever it is you were doing behind this wall.
Hey, no dilly in my dally, man. I just heard some commotion, and I heard some sort of disruptor pistol go off, something like that. Some species grabbed me from the legs, threw me in this cargo bay, closed the door, held it shut, because I did try to lift it open, like how you opened it. I tried that, but he must have had his hand on the outside or something. It was holding it down, and then I was trying to. Anyway,
if you want to kill something, you must always do it yourself. I take off my bed laugh and be like, "Huntsman, find us the prey then," and I let it push you.
So Kotar and Omek, as you're having this conversation, you hear a door crack open, and it's not like the cargo bay doors. It's actually a little closet that you didn't notice before, and it's just kind of between the last cargo bay door and the engineering console. There's a closet door. It cracks open from the side.
Can I shoot it the minute I hear the noise?
Yeah.
I want to shoot it.
Okay.
I just want to shoot at the door.
Go ahead and roll daring security.
Yeah.
I mean, difficulty is just 1. You're just shooting a door.
Shot?
What's that?
Is it a shot or is it his batlet?
Oh.
No, I shot it. I brought my guns and my bed.
A gun is a control shot.
Oh, thank you. Control. Yeah.
It's control security?
Yes.
2.
Okay. Bank of momentum and you shoot the door. You hear someone yelp on the other side. You actually hear multiple someone's yelp on the other side, and sense them jump back. Ah! Oh my God! And they slam the door shut. You sense that there's actually like multiple people behind that door.
If I was you, I would come out slowly.
Are you gonna shoot us?
If I meant to do it, you would already be dead. I advise you don't try to surprise a Klingon from now on. Life lesson. Come out now.
The door slowly opens about halfway, and in the doorway, you see a Rigelian Jelna named Jemir. And let me get a description for you. Jemir is a very fully muscled, about 5'10", strong, stout Rigelian Jelna. Kind of curly shoulder length hair. And they have kind of like geometric patterns on their face, like a diamond, and then just some different skin tones that surround that diamond. Short cropped hair. Sorry, I said shoulder length curly hair. And so Jemir looks at you and says, "We thought maybe you had come here to save us."
From what?
From those things. Those hunters. They cornered us here. We're lucky.
You know what? I'm very happy about this. For a minute, Omek, I thought you got beat by these fools. I was going to be quite disappointed in you. What hunters are you talking about? What's your name?
Jemir. My name is Jemir.
Jemir. Explain.
Well, I mean, they just beamed over here, and there were two of them, and they were in this armor, and they wouldn't talk to us at all. They just started shooting at us, and then we all scattered and hid because we know where to hide on this ship, and they don't.
Who is we? How many of you are there?
There's 10 of us back here.
Oh, again. Omek, you said there was 2. There's 10. There's 12. What's up with your scanners?
Oh, well, yeah, we're in a protected closet back here. We keep this in case we need to transport materials that shouldn't be scanned. So you wouldn't have detected our life signs. And unfortunately, if you only sense 2 other life signs, it might be those hunters, and that means that the rest of our crew didn't make it.
How many of you were there?
18.
Oh, this will be fun. You being back on our ship, and I will be having a grand old time today. I'll go back to the ship and tell them to beam these 10 people back on the ship.
Okay.
There's 10 more people coming.
They're going to have to step outside because your transporters are not going to get through these doors, this closet they're in. So they step outside, and you see them. They're all adult-aged, Rigelian Jelna. You notice, too, that so Rigelian Jelna have 4 genders, and there's 2, I believe they're called endosexes and 2 exosexes. So these are people that you've never seen with your own eyes before, and you just kind of are seeing them for the first time. And it's people of all different genders, and yes.
If you're hiding, you shouldn't be a threat to my ship. Is there anything you want to tell me about these creatures that took out your crew? What do they look like? What weapons did they use? So on, so on. It doesn't matter. I'm going to kill them regardless. But you know.
As they're kind of filing out of the closet, and one of the Jelna hear you ask this question as she's coming out, and she kind of says, she's kind of shorter, maybe younger, like 18 years old. I actually did heard them talking to each other as I was hiding, and they passed by. They referred to themselves as Hirajin. I don't know what that means, but they said they're Hirajin.
I know what that means. What a day. I wish it was my birthday. Scan them up now. Omek, are you ready to get your hunt on, friend?
All right. Those 10 get transported up to the ship. Now, where would the two of you like to head? And then we're going to go back to Commander and Lieutenant in the front.
Go meet up with them somewhere.
Okay. Great. So you head back to the front of the ship. Let's say, you make your way to the front of the ship and you encounter Ra'amyan and Edaj in the cockpit, having uncovered this information about the encounters.
Good, you've made it.
They come in through the door. I am going to throw a diktak as soon as I hear someone come at the door and just try and aim it in that direction.
All right. Go ahead and
move out the way.
go ahead and let's make this an opposed roll. For Edaj, daring. What do you usually? Daring command, or I guess.
Daring medicine, because
medicine. Okay.
Does it still count the same when you're throwing though?
Oh yeah, it's throwing a ranged attack technically.
Yeah.
Does it work for ranged attacks?
Yeah.
No, I mean it's also throwing, so would that be control also?
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with a knife. Blade is my focus.
Yeah, control, medicine, and then Chris to get out of the way. This is difficulty 2 for both of you, but of course it's still opposed. So whoever does best wins. Chris, let's say, I almost want to say like insight, because a knife is coming at you in the dark. So I'm not sure how you would dodge it without using your insight. Insight security?
Okay. Still the same. I still got 2.
Okay.
I also got 2.
You got a tie. Okay, well then you both succeed then. You throw your diktak into the dark corridor, and it somehow you sense that something is coming at you. You dodge out, and it just grazes your armor.
Well, hello to you too, Captain. I grab the diktak and throw it back at her.
I assume you're throwing it at me so I can have it back.
Yeah,
So
I'm tossing it to you. I'm not trying to stab you with it.
I say, oh, Kotar, what a welcome. Get over here. We're hunting. We found out there's someone on this ship and we need to find out information. What have you uncovered?
Well, when I was saving this one right here, I discovered that we have 2, what are they called again, Omek?
Hirajins.
Apparently, they came and they murdered the ship. It was just a transport vessel, just some people trying to, make an honest living. And they beamed on and they took out 8. And there are 2 of them.
These species are natural hunters. This is what it's in their blood. I've actually done a few simulations on the holodeck to do one of their hunts, and I gotta say I was impressed. So I'm not trying to. I know Kotar isn't scared, or I'm not trying to scare you, Captain, or Amyan, but we may be being watched right now as we're speaking. So I don't know if it's maybe the best place for us to kind of be together. Maybe we should split up. But just know that these guys are predators.
Well, we have a couple options. We can indulge Lieutenant Kotar and have him take them out. Or perhaps we can simply return to our ship and blow the whole thing up. That would also solve the problem.
Blow the whole thing up. We've been sitting on that ship for months now. We are gonna hunt these MFs and we're gonna find them and just stab them a little bit. I did stab one of them. It might be bleeding. I don't know. I say we go hunting. Kotar, aren't you excited?
The Vulcan in me understands where Ramyan is coming. That is the most sensible move. That being said, I do want to shed blood. So, yes, I am excited. Let's go kill these things that are supposed to be, as Omek says, hard to kill.
Omek,
They're actually Herogens. My bad. They don't like being called Herogens. That they take it as like a slur. So.
Well, then I'll be calling them specifically Herogens this entire time. Herogens, come out and face me, you cowards. I've only met space ninjas twice in my life, and I don't think you all are one. And then I slap my deadlift down in the middle of the thing.
Omek, do you know where they are? I had trouble scanning them earlier.
You know, me too, man. For whatever reason, these scanners, they're not 2055 like they say on here. They're a little, outdated and more.
Omek, you look down at your tricorder and you see 2 red dots on the layout of this ship, and you might have forgotten because of all of the action that happened and Riek being injured and you being thrown into a cargo bay, that you did set up that tracking device for the Herogen.
Hey,
Yes.
Omek, what's that in your hand? Isn't that a tracker?
Yes, you're right, Commander. Thank you. Very observant. I actually have them tracked. I didn't realize that after getting thrown into a cargo bay and not knowing what threw you in there, it can be a little, jolting.
Where are they headed? Are they coming this way?
Let me check.
Okay, this does not require a roll. You look down at it and you see that they're both on deck 1 now, so they're below you. So on this ship there are 8 cargo bays. So it's there's 16 total. So it's 4 on each side of the corridor of each deck. So on the lower deck, they are in cargo bays 1, 2, and then diagonally across from that. So they're kind of they're inside cargo bays right now on the lower deck.
Right now, I have them in cargo bay 2 and 9. 2 and 9.
All right. Let's go get number 2. So I'm going to go down that little ramp and lead the way.
That'll drop you right off by cargo bays 1 and 2. So yeah.
All right. I'm going to pop down there and hide in the shadow.
All right.
Commander, we did also find the Jameer. He was a Regalian, and they were hiding in these special closet-like crevices throughout the ship. I don't know if maybe you or I could maybe go into one of them, maybe sneak attack, find a way in through that into cargo bay 2, and maybe surprise attack them rather than just kind of knock on the door and say, hey, we're here.
If you're talking to me, I already went down the ramp and I'm hiding in the shadows now.
Yeah. You didn't watch her do that dramatic slide down the thing?
I thought I could catch her on the comm, but it's bad reception.
You know how Captain is. She's probably hiding in the ceiling somewhere.
You're right.
You have comms. But
You probably got the comms off the hide. That being said, you and Ramyan can go do that. I, however, am about to go see what's up, and I'll jump down the thing.
all right, so you follow down that same ramp.
Yeah.
Omek, if you can find a place to sneak up on them, then do so. However, I believe that we need to deal with the situation sooner rather than later. And I ready my disruptor. These Herogen are not to be trifled with. They were able to pin both Commander Edaj and me earlier with 1 on 2 of us. I would prefer to take this down at a range. And I, disruptor in hand, slowly walk down there.
Okay, which way would you like to go, Ramyan?
Joining everyone toward 2, right?
Okay, sounds good. And Omek, where are you headed?
Well, now I feel like I don't want to miss out, and I don't want to spend all my time looking for this damn door that I probably can't fit in. So I'm gonna just go ahead and follow Ramyan and say, okay, hold up. I'm coming. Here I go.
Okay, so you all one at a time head down that sloped, that slope that heads down to deck 1, and we have our senior staff heading down to deck 1 to continue the hunt of 2 Hirogen that have taken over a Rigelian freighter ship. We're going to take our break now, and when we come back, we're going to see if you're able to successfully hunt these hunters. Come back after the break. Welcome back to Blood of the Void, episode 6. Our 4 senior officers of the IKS Borku are currently laying in wait, hunting a pair of hunters that have taken over a Rigelian Jelna freighter ship. But back on the IKS Borku, our dear Riek, severely mortally injured Riek, is in sickbay, being tended to by one of the Klingon nurses, one of the very few Klingon nurses on the IKS Borku. Riek lays on the stone slab that is the bed in sickbay, and has been profusely bleeding. The 2 Klingon nurses scurrying about trying to staunch the bleeding, and as she's coming in and out of consciousness, she does peek and see that into sickbay walks her second in command in engineering, Dawa. And if Dawa can please join us.
Riek, what has happened to you? Who did this?
They are hunters. Hunters, that's all I know. Dawa, this is not how I wanted to die, but at least it was in combat.
You're not going to die. You have many more battles left ahead of you.
Do you see this? Nearly gutted me. And she looks down at literally her sides are just not looking good. It looks really bad, Dawa.
I see it. But you are strong. And our nurses are very capable.
One of the nurses has gone to a console and is just kind of running some medical scans furiously, trying to see if there's anything to do, and just looks frustrated and actually bangs their hand against the console. You see that? It's fine. It's my time, Dawa. And it's your time too. You've been training under me for months now. It's time for you to be the head engineer.
Head engineer. Yes.
There's no one better suited.
What
was that?
Under new leadership. With a commander I barely know and haven't even spoken to.
There's lots of change happening around here these days.
It's one thing if it were Captain Bemir. She knew me. She understood me.
No, this one is... You can get to know this one just as well. In fact, you need to do something for them. You need to help them on that ship so they don't get hunted like I did. And you see her kind of grasping at her pant leg, trying to reach for something. She can't quite. Her hands are slippery with blood, and she's just kind of not able to get under her armor to it.
I've got it. Just hold still.
Ugh. So
There I
you
go. Yeah.
you reach in into a pocket and you pull out her tricorder. I got enough information to power up that ship. And basic systems understanding, and it's all in that tricorder. So you can help the crew, or at least get the ship out of here, get it up and running somewhere afterwards. That could help you endear yourself with a new commander. And you hear like a beep, 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 beep. Her heart is just pounding on that scanner.
Riek. Mother. You cannot leave me here.
Mm-hmm. You must live honorably, child. You must bring honor to this house and to the Empire. And you will. I know you will. And remember to shout to Stovokor that I'm coming. And with that, she passes out. And the monitor goes beep, 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 beep. The Klingon nurses scurry about, and they just both look at each other and look at you and look back at Riek. And the three of you look at each other. Throw your One of the Klingon nurses puts their hand on your shoulder, Dua. I can see that she had so much faith in you. You will serve us well, Chief Engineer. Kapla!
Kapla. I go now.
Okay. And you leave sickbay?
There's nothing left for me here.
All right. So, back on the Rigelian freighter, the four of you have gathered outside of Cargo Bay 2. Omek, on your juiced up tricorder, you still have locations on both of these Hirogen. Neither of them has moved. One of them is hiding out in Cargo Bay 2. The other is in Cargo Bay 9, which is just across the hall and a couple of bays over. What is your next move?
Is there any crawl space that I can sneak into?
Yeah, so you look up and on the deck above, you were surprised from above. So you look up and you see that there's a catwalk. And between the two decks, there is you're a short Klingon, so you can stand upright, but a taller Klingon would not. They would have to crouch in between that space between decks.
I'm gonna take my turn and like scurry up there and just keep watch from above because I'm very upset that move was used against me. So I am going to sneak up there and kind of scout what's going on and see if I can see this Hirogen inside of his room.
Okay. So you, sure enough, you're able to kind of parkour your way up to the catwalk and crouch down, get a lay of the land. You can't see inside of the cargo bays, but if anyone is opening those doors, coming or going, you will see them very easily. And you now have a better vantage point for even like the darker parts of the hallway further down. Okay, what would the rest of you like to do?
Are there any like stun grenades or anything of that nature that we have?
I mean, none of you said you brought that on, but
I don't even know if that's a thing. I just want to know if that's even a possibility for us to use.
Sure, those can exist. If you'd like to spend some momentum, you can even maybe look through a closet and find something like that.
Can I do that, guys? How many do we have? How much do we have?
It would cost 2 momentum.
We have 3 left.
Is that right?
That's up to the group. I'll let everybody else vote in on that.
Yeah, I would say let's do a plan of attack. Like, Commander, which one are you? Are you in 2 or 9?
We're all
I'm
got 2.
We're all
Everybody
about
with me.
We're all at 2? Because, I mean, maybe we could split up. Like, I can go with Commander, and then Ramyan and Kotar can go
We
to
split
9.
up last time, and that did not go well for you, Omek. From what I hear, you got kind of thrown into a closet or something. So
Yeah.
I think like Kotar is huge. I think y'all should go in just like guns blazing.
You got
Can
to
I buy
go.
the electric grenade?
Please do.
Bet. Okay. Well, then can I take my turn?
Yep.
I want to walk in and I want to go, Hero Gene, and I want to slap on the things and something. Come out and play! And then where where Omek Scissor shows that the thing is, I want to throw the stun grenade at that area. And then
Okay.
that's going to be my move. I feel like I can't do 2 with that. So.
Well, okay, so I will say, if you're going into Cargo Bay 2 and initiating combat, then yes, you can. That's going to be your first move is throwing the grenade.
Can I also use my thing of
Quick to action?
yes,
Sure can.
that I want to do that too.
All right. So you open the cargo bay door. Iraji, come out and play. And yes, you did mention that you consulted Omek's tricorder, so you know which corner of the room to throw it in, and you toss that grenade that you found in the closet in there.
Yes.
Okay. We are in combat. So, I mean, I'm thinking a ranged attack for throwing this grenade. So let's say control security.
I'd love to hear it.
And sorry, the difficulty, let's see. You have the tricorder, he's cornered, you know. I'm going to say the difficulty is, and it's not opposed, it's a surprise. The difficulty, I'll make it 2.
Ooh, you love to see it. Wow, came back. That one was a 1. Second one was a 1.
Great, so you got 2 successes.
Yes.
Great. So in this darkened cargo bay, you toss your flash grenade in, and sure enough, you see that flash, and in the second, you see the shadow of a crouched Hirogen standing on top of some crates in the far corner. And in that quick flash, you also see him kind of like, he's kind of standing there waiting. He has some type of, looks like an energy weapon, rifle. But the flash catches him off guard, momentarily making him not able to see. And it looks like he falls over a bit. So we'll do combat. How about this? There's 2 of them and 4 of you. So I'm going to have 2 of you go, 1 of them go, 2 of them go, 2 of you go, 1 of them.
Is it the one in another thing? Isn't it all 4 of us against this one?
Well, yeah, that's true. You can do it that way if you'd like to. So, but I am going to still do, I'm just going to keep that as the order.
Okay.
So he's kept the initiative, but that doesn't mean he can go again. It just means our side can go again.
Yes. Yeah. So who would like to go next?
I'll follow up on that. I have my disruptor pistol on my side, and I feel like I got a lot to prove now, seeing as how, you know, I was the only one stuck in the cargo bay by myself. And without even thinking, as soon as the grenade goes off, I quickly pull my pistol, and I see that flash, see his aura of the life species, because I know exactly where it is. And I hit him with 2 shots.
All right.
Is that okay?
Also, yes, go for that. Go ahead and do control security. I forgot to have you roll for damage. Chris. So with the flash grenade, oh, that's interesting. Let me see if I can pull up, or maybe I can find it in the book. See what a flash grenade would be. But Phillip, go ahead and make your roll. The difficulty, let's say the difficulty is 1, because now we've caught him off guard with that flash grenade.
Got it. It's control security, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Chris, for damage for your grenade, we're going to make that a 4d6. And it's an area effect. Yeah. Okay. So I think, so 46 plus your security. You're muted.
3s and 4s don't count, right?
That's right. 3s and 4s. I know last time, okay, so I'm going to reestablish something. Because the last game we read the damage dice a certain way, but I want to just kind of reset it now. So 1s and 2s. So 1 is 1 damage, 2 is 2 damage, 3 and 4 is nothing, 5 and 6 are 1 damage with an effect.
Okay. Then I got 4 plus an effect.
All right. Great. Let's see. Okay. So like I said, you actually do a good amount of damage to this Hirogen who's crouching, looking for a pencil. He's crouching up in the corner, and he's actually it's not the effect was you got an effect. So yes, he is knocked over with your hit.
Is this the one you guys already stabbed?
Yes, it is. Yep. And we forgot to roll damage on that too, so I'll just go ahead and take a little off the top. Okay, so Omek, did you go ahead and roll your shot?
Yes, I got 2 successes, and I forgot to add, I dramatically dive into a barrel roll 2 times, creating somewhat distance between the Hirogen, or Hirogen, as I like to call him.
Offensively.
Respectful. Yes, to offend him. And as I come out of my barrel roll, I see exactly where he is, and I pop 2 shots off.
I'm going to give you a momentum for that stylish barrel roll.
Pop, pop.
No barrel.
Do a barrel roll. All right, so you take your 2 shots. You got 2 successes. That was difficulty 1. And roll your damage dice.
Got it.
Or your phaser, or disruptor pistol, I should say.
Yeah. It's damage 7, right? So, and a
3 plus security.
3 plus security. Okay. Hold up. I have 1, 2, and a 5 in effect. So 3, 4, and an effect.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So 1 plus 2, that's 3, 4. So 4 in an effect. Did you go on mute? Okay.
Yes. Sorry. Yes,
okay.
And yes.
All right. Great. So, this Hirogen has been like knocked over on their side from the flash grenade. Then you come in and hit him with 2 disruptor pistol shots, and he's still down. He's not getting up. He's now down. He is kind of almost losing consciousness. Okay, so sorry, this is my first time running combat for y'all. So thank you for your patience. Chris, you asked if you could use quick to action. You didn't need to because of the way I'm doing combat today. But if you'd like to use your quick to action now, we can go to another player character before the other Hirogen moves.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
I think it's a good time for the commander to drop down.
Are you telling me my action?
Stabby, stabby. Stabby, stabby.
Did you want to go? Because I did like scurry up into my little like catwalk.
I feel like you dropping down allows you to say stuff versus I would just shoot him again.
All right, if he's kind of like dozing off, I'm gonna drop down and do like a gymnastics swing into the room and try and land like on him if I can, or near him. I don't know how far I have to jump or do this like gymnastic swing.
Okay. Let's have you roll. What's that?
Parkour!
Parkour. You're gonna parkour your way back into this cargo bay. I'd like to see you do a fitness security. Difficulty 2.
I'm gonna take a momentum for this. And also I have a focus in gymnastic ability.
Oh, great. Okay.
Do we get any momentum back from any of those attack rolls?
I think
No.
I think one of them you did, at least one of them. Maybe Chris's?
I know we have 2 total.
Well, we just used 1, but if we got any more from those attack rolls, then we should have more than 1.
And I also gave you a momentum for flavor.
So that was the one
We're at 2.
Cool.
Okay, I have 2 successes.
Okay. And your difficulty was 2, so you meet the difficulty. You parkour your way, gymnastic parkour your way. It's, oh my goodness, it's like that scene in Jurassic Park 2 with the gymnastics girl who swings from, oh my God, that's exactly what it looks like. You
Praise that little black girl.
Yes, I know her actually. You swing into the cargo bay doors and through with a couple of other bounces and leaps off of the floor and the walls, you land squarely on top of this Hirogen hunter. He's just kind of splayed out. His rifle is at his side. He's not, he wasn't going to be picking it up anytime soon anyway.
Was he standing?
No, he's down. He's down. He's laying down.
Okay. Then if he's laying down, then I want to pin his head between my knees and kind of sit on his chest and hold a dick talk to his throat and say, "What is your business here?"
My business is to hunt. My life, my livelihood is to hunt. And here I am, the hunted.
If that is your only business here, then you have failed, sir. You thought we were easy prey. Look at you, lying here in your shame.
You're right. You're right. I've never engaged in hunting with Klingons, and you're right. Ah! He just yells out. And I'm spending threat because he is alerting his partner in crime down the hall.
Captain, stab him in the throat now. Kill him.
So we are still in combat. Jade, you did your move. Unless I think we're all at a quick to action, so it's now the Hirogen's turn. And with that alert and with the threat I spent, I'm gonna have the Hirogen come and make his way over from Cargo Bay 9. So at that scream, Omek, you're still in the hallway, right?
Oh, I thought I was like I was next to the.
Oh,
He did
I'm
a
sorry.
fancy roll.
No,
Ra'amyan
yeah.
is still in the hallway.
Ra'amyan is still in the hallway. So Ra'amyan, you hear the scream as well. And Cargo Bay 9, the door opens up and very quickly comes running out another Hirogen with another energy weapon, levels it at you, and fires. This will be opposed. We're both gonna roll control security, and the difficulty.
Do I roll that for ranged attack?
I'm sorry. No. I'm gonna roll control security. What is it usually for if you're defending or?
I don't know actually. I thought range attacks just aren't opposed. They're
Aren't
just
opposed.
to something.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Okay, then it won't be opposed. I'll just do control security. It's gonna be a bit difficult because even though you're standing there, it's still dark, and he's just kind of running into the darkness. So, but I will spend. No, I won't. Okay. Okay. We rolled. Unfortunately, this Hirogen has a focus in marksmanship and is able to, even in the dark, at least see the form of Ra'amyan at the end of the hall, maybe in silhouette, and aims for the shoulder. Let's see what happens now. Okay. 1, 2. Ra'amyan, you get hit pretty badly, squarely in the shoulder. You're going to take 6 damage.
Is that before or after the resistance?
Oh, before resistance, which you have of 2, right?
1 for the standard Klingon armor.
Okay. Oh no, Brocklul is for melee. Is that right?
Brocklul for non-lethal, for punches.
Oh, non-lethal, right. Okay, so then yes, so 5 damage. So that energy rifle, this is also an energy rifle that you all, it's slightly different from what you're used to. You feel like this searing heat in your shoulder as it like burns through your armor. And you take that 5 damage.
How do injuries work? Am I injured?
So I believe, I apologize, I didn't brush up on this very recently, but I believe it's every 5 injuries, every 5 stress you take equals an injury. So I think you have 1 injury now.
Now what? Is this a lethal? Does this take me down?
How much is your stress track? Or your stress? How much stress do you have?
I went from 12 to 7, but it's 5 in one shot.
Yeah. I would say this knocks you back on. You're gonna kind of not stand very well after this. You're not down all the way.
Okay.
You're still standing, but you're kind of knocked off balance.
But am I injured?
Yeah, you have an injury, yeah.
Okay, is it the lethal kind or the non-lethal kind?
What would be the difference?
I think that might just be up to the weapon. So if it's a shot to kill, it's probably a lethal injury.
Yeah, but I mean, is there an effective difference, like mechanically or narratively?
Yeah, non-lethal means I won't die. I'm just taken out of the battle. And lethal means I will die unless I get medical help.
Oh, you definitely need medical help for this injury, but you're not going to die immediately. You're not going to bleed out.
Not immediately.
Yeah, and so because this is an energy weapon, you're the wound, yes, you are going to bleed some, but a lot of it is also cauterized by the energy itself. So,
For
and
sure.
also, Riek got shot in the guts, and that's not good. But you got shot in the shoulder, so you're gonna be okay for a little bit. But
I'll
yes,
check off the box, basically.
You're what?
I'll check off the box, basically.
Yes, but you're not like immediately going to die.
This is a Tetrion. Am I saying it right? tetryon subatomic particle that
If that
is shooting the gun. I'm guessing, like, right? That's the guns that they use, right? The
Hirogen?
Yeah, tetryon subatomic particle.
I'm guessing so.
It hurts. Okay, I know it hurts.
Okay, so now it's you guys' turn. I'm guessing Ra'amyan might want to go next because someone's barreling down at him.
I can't because I've been injured.
Crawl in the room.
Yeah, you can make a move of some kind.
So that's the technical thing. Like if I'm injured, I can't act anymore. I'm taken out of the battle.
Oh, okay. Do you want to call out or anything so that
I will scream. And period. I will scream.
okay.
I thought you were going to scream something cool at the time, but I guess it's just a.
I wanted to hear Anya on screen, man. I on screen.
That just reminded me of a moment from another RPG I watched where the line is literally just, I would just like to cry. That's all.
Can he heal himself? Is that possible?
No.
Stop the bleeding?
No. Okay, Ra'amyan, you scream, and the three of you in the room hear this. Who goes next?
I want to go next if no one
Yeah,
else
look.
wants to step up. How much armor does this guy have?
Wait. Sorry, Jade. I think you already took your turn. I think the only person. Wait, no. Is this a new round? This is a new round.
Yeah, it's a new round.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
How much armor does this Hirogen have that I'm sitting on?
Oh, what do you
I
mean?
want to know where to stab him. Basically, is what I'm trying to ask.
You can stab like in the neck.
Okay.
Where you had your knife before at the neck, there's just a sliver there that's exposed.
Okay. Fantastic. I have focuses in xenobiology and blades. So having pinned him down and having him say his crazy speech to me and like yell out, I'm gonna take my dick talk and just like bury it inside of his neck, with all the commotion that's going on inside. So I'm just gonna simply stab him right there where the blade already is.
Okay. Is the purpose to kill him?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, this sounds kind of like a precise movement you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have you do control security, and if you'd like to use your talent to do medicine. Is there a limit to how many times you can do that, by the way?
No. It's just very specific what I can and can't do.
Okay.
I just have to creep up on people as close as I can, and then I just stab them.
I mean, you're on top of this guy. The difficulty is 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got him. Got him.
Well, I got 1 success, so that's all
right.
I did, right? Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, roll your damage.
All right.
How much health does this guy have left?
He is very low. Like,
Sure.
yeah, he's.
And it's 1 plus how my discipline, right?
So security
Which
and whatever your dick-tock is that 1d6?
it's 1. But
Okay.
so I have my medicine, which I use, and that's 5.
Oh, sorry. I guess that works for damage too then. Okay.
Oh no. 2 damage.
Okay.
Oh wait, and effect. Oh, I got a 1 and a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you got a 1. Okay, right. Okay, good. Okay. You slice your dick-tock into his throat, and he can't really speak, but you just hear him kind of like gutturally, like kind of crying out, just like in pain, but also just in complete. He's given up. He's not fighting back. He's still hanging on somehow, but he's barely out.
But he's not dead. But he's out.
He's not dead, but he's out. He is passed out. Okay, so you have one more Hirogen in the hall who is coming down the hallway, has just shot your lieutenant. Who goes next? What do you do?
I want to go up to the door.
So,
Okay,
okay,
because
go
we
ahead.
have quick to action too, right? So I want to go up to the door and go, Hirogen, put down your gun and fight me. If you are supposed to be such a predator, I feel that you have met the prey that will bite back on your hand today, my friend.
What's your action?
I have my knife. I'm waiting to see what he responds before I take my action.
He's just running down the hall. You don't hear any response.
All right, then can I wait right before he gets to Ramion and swing out and chop him in the chest?
Yep. All right. So you're kind of waiting at the door, and as he is just about to pass you, you whip out. What are you attacking with?
With my bet left.
All right. Cool. Let's strike to the chest.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll. Daring security. You have Mokbara, right?
Yes.
All right. That's your focus, I'm guessing.
And I have hand-to-hand combat. Can I use that?
You can use either or both.
Okay.
Whichever.
I mean, whatever. Let's use blade specialist for this. Let's do it. So does that mean I get what's that one again? What's the focus again? I'm sorry.
What's that? Oh,
What
you're
is
gonna
the-
roll. You're gonna roll daring security.
No, I'm saying what does the focus give you again? I forgot what
Oh,
that
it
was.
means that if you roll if you're what's your security again? 4?
5.
5. If you roll 5 or below, that will count as a critical success, and you'll get 2 successes.
Dope. Love to hear it. Great.
Love to hear it.
That's 3.
All right. I'm sorry, I don't think I said the difficulty out loud, but it was going to be difficulty 2. So you bank that 1 success. Go ahead and roll your damage for your bat'leth.
What is it for the bet left? I don't have it on here. Does it show it?
Here I can
Because
read
it has vicious on it, right? So
It's
is it
Yeah,
like a-
3 plus your security.
Yeah.
Can I use momentum to reroll?
I don't think you can start using momentum once you've already started rolling.
You can use
I
it to
thought that-
re-roll, but you can't use it to add a new one, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to re-roll the die. Can't you spend
And it's
momentum?
for the damage too, so.
Yeah, this is for damage, so you can spend a momentum to reroll some of the I forget how many it is.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's however many you choose within damage die.
All right. I'm gonna do that and re-roll 3.
You would think the person who plays this game 3 times a month would know the rules to combat, but we don't fight as much over on the Federation side.
You
Well,
use geese and warp cores, as I understand it.
Two.
Welp.
I got 11 plus 3 effects.
Wow. Okay. 11 plus 3 effects.
Yeah.
An average day for Kotar.
How?
Just to let it be
How
known,
much is that?
I
This
do
is how
not
he's
stay
built.
around.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let you describe this, but first, you come up to the doorway and you see Ra'amyan with a burn in his shoulder and just slumped against the wall, like sliding down. And that spurs you to bring out your bat'leth. As the Hirogen is about to pass by you, what happens?
All right,
You-
then I sit.
You
I'll lean
knock
it-
this- let me just tell you what the end result is. You knock them the fuck out.
Then I wait on the door and I look at Omek and I say, watch this. And I'll wait and I hear him. He goes, deep, deep, deep. And as I hear his steps come, I turn the corner and I hit him in the middle of his chest and I fall through the momentum and I swing around to the door and slash him in half when I hit the blade on the wall. And then when I stick I hit him against the wall, his bottom half falls off. And when I take the blade out, the top half falls after the blade.
He still has a couple of health, so he's not completely cleaved in half. But I will say, yes, you give him a very deep gash through the middle, and he's completely knocked out.
You really Kurosawa'd him there.
I was trying.
Is it safe to say that Dawa has finally beamed over to this ship?
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you wanted to beam over right away.
Well, I mean, I'll beam over whenever it is you want me to beam over.
Let's say now is when you beam over. And you beam over you beam over to next to Ra'amyan. And as you're rematerializing it, you see that big swipe that oh goodness.
Kotar.
Kotar. I almost said it, Dodge, and then Ra'amyan, and then Omek. Everyone but Kotar. You see that big swipe with the bat'leth that Kotar just took, nearly cleaving this Hirogen in half through his armor.
And what you all see when, or at least Kotar and Ra'amyan see when Dawa beams in, is they're 6'2", but they're obviously built like somebody who has had to squeeze through crawl spaces and all kinds of small, they're tall and very, very wiry muscle kind of build. They're not built like a tank. They're built if they're built like a sprinter, somebody who is made to fit into small and tiny spaces. And they are they have a completely their head is shaved completely bald. They have no hair, so you can see where the ridges from their spinal column connect to the ridges on their head, a bit more like the disco sort of Klingon vibe, with the very, very strong ridges. And they kind of just sort of look at the Hirogen, and they look at Ra'amyan, and they look at Qatar, and they go, "Where's engineering?"
Are we out of battle at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You are. Battle has ended.
Okay.
I was standing at the door with my destructor pistol. I was about to be like, watch this, Kotar, but he took all the glory.
You are Klingons, so I will say they both have just a few health left, so if you'd like to finish them off, you can.
Can I do quick the action to get my finish? I want to do the fatality, even though it's out of turn.
We don't have turns anymore, right? You can just do whatever because they're down.
Do it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention they also have a couple of they have rings kind of going up their nose as well.
Yeah.
I also am just going to say you don't need to roll for this. Just narratively tell me how you finish these Hirogen off if you choose to do so.
Okay. I just want to lean down and say, guess you are not that good of a hunter. And then cut his head off.
I think I'm the only one in the cargo bay too with this guy that I was sitting on. I'm going to start kind of dragging him towards the door by the helmet area and just be like, all right, this one's passed out. And I'm going to come into the hallway and see this head rolling away, I guess. Is that what just happened? And be like, all right, who are you? Looking at Dawa.
I am Dawa. Riek is dead. I guess that makes me your new chief engineer.
Riek is dead?
Apparently, these bastards gutted her like a fish. The nurses did what they could for her, but it wasn't enough. She has joined many of our forebears in Stovacor.
I slowly slump up, trying to push against the wall to get up, and then I do a half-energied scream up into the sky.
Upon hearing I think my dick tuck is still in the neck of the one that I just stabbed that's still clinging on. I'm going to take that knife and just make a little smiley face across the rest of his throat as I scream up as well. So I'm just going to finish him off and go, ah!
That being said, Commander, I wished not to join Riek so soon if I could get some attention.
Hold on. And I take out my blade and wipe it off on the armor of that Hirogan that I just murdered for Riek's sake. And I get over to Ra'amyan and start taking a look at his shoulder. While I do that, I say, but still, you're replacing Riek?
She trained me forever if ever such a moment like this were to arise. I've been working under her for now some time.
All right.
She gave me some very important information that might help this ship function the way it's supposed to again.
We'll deal with Riek and her death when we get back to the ship. You get to engineering. Omek, go.
Yes,
Can I stop Dua before they go to the engineering room as I wipe the blade? Say, I apologize. You did not have the privilege of your vengeance, but his death was swift.
Seems like the two of you took more than adequate care of it. Fighting isn't really my style anyway.
All right. So, sounds like Dawa is heading to engineering, and the rest of you are going where?
Nowhere until I get a medicine check on me.
All right. So, yeah, let's do, Jade, go ahead and do a medicine check. What would this normally be? Reason medicine?
I never get a
Internal medicine
check. This is so exciting.
Is this the first one we've done?
No one ever lets me operate on them, and I've offered so many times. Let's see. I think this one is control and medicine.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too.
Okay. Ramyan, hold still!
Oh, difficulty, let's say difficulty 2.
Oh. Good.
Prevent me from dying, so don't lose.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if I have any talents or anything.
Do you?
I'm just trying to get them.
Aren't you a doctor?
Yeah, isn't literally just being like surgery? Do you have surgery?
Oh, it also says for Brakulu, whenever a Klingon is target of a first aid task, reduce the difficulty of that task by 1.
Ah, thank you. And this is first aid because we're in the field. We're not in a medical base. So yes, that definitely applies. So
okay.
Difficulty 1.
Then I have 2 because I got a crit. So
Wonderful.
with my focus. Yeah. So you healed.
You healed. Wonderful.
And we bank a momentum too.
You bank a momentum. Do we do? Yeah, we really haven't done medicine checks. I'm not sure if we do a roll to see how much stress you get back. I think we do.
Oh, okay.
Let's
no
see.
one has let me heal them.
Yeah, this is a first for our Klingon game.
I can heal you so good. Do I just roll for medicine? Like my
Damage die? I mean, you know what?
Because Naj does more killing than she does healing.
Right. For today, I will look this up for next time, but for today, yes, let's just roll it like damage die and but I'll look it up for next time.
Heal!
Come on, big healing, big healing.
4 heal?
Cool.
Okay. So Jade, describe to us what is the effect of what did you do to heal?
Did Ramyan have like a hole in his shoulder or what?
He got
what
shot
was
with
it?
an energy weapon in the shoulder.
It's like a burned hole in the shoulder.
Okay.
So yeah, skin, viscera is burned. You probably see a little bone, maybe even. It's kind of gross.
Okay. I have like a med kit on me in my big cloak thing. I'm gonna take out my pack and I'm gonna find like I have a little syringe that's gonna be full of stem cells, and I'm just gonna like pop it right into that little hole, inject them in, and take a skin plaster and kind of just pat it on and say, "There you go, all fixed up. Now get back in there and don't get shot again." Ugh.
I shall do my best, Commander.
All right, and I hit it a couple more times to make sure it's gonna stay on. Cat, cat, cat.
All
It's
right.
not my first injury, and I expect that it shall not be my last.
Wonderful. First field medicine we've had. Great. Well done. Okay, so so now where would the four of you like to go?
Can
Or
I grab that head and go back to the ship to go talk to the people who we sent back?
You sure can.
I should also go back.
Is Omek with me?
Yes.
All right. Great. So it sounds like the three of you, Adaj, Ra'amyan, and Kotar, my brain, beam back to the ship. Omek and Dua, you head down the hall towards engineering. On your way to engineering, you pass by Cargo Bay 9, which the door is now wide open. And you look in and you see a pile of 8 bodies. These are the Rigelian crew. And they did not fall dead that way. They clearly were gathered here by the Hirogen.
Collecting their trophies, I suppose.
It appears as though they've skinned them and have detached the muscles from their bones. Already in the process, I guess.
Guess everybody has their way of mounting things on their walls.
Yes. Death is a funny thing. It's something that we all can't avoid.
The two of you, so a little bit of meta trekking here. Most of you would probably have heard of the ship Voyager that traveled back from the Delta Quadrant, and it brought back a ton of data on lots of different species. The Hirogen is one of them. And so a lot of you actually know that as Trekkies, but also as your characters, you probably would have had an inkling of some kind. Even if you haven't seen them in the flesh before, you might have heard of them before. And now you definitely are familiar with them. So the skinning and the bones that you see in that room, normally if they were on the Hirogen ship and able to bring it back, that's where they would have done it. But they did it here instead.
How even did they get here? From the other side of the galaxy.
Maybe they're in search of a mineral.
Don't suppose you and I have properly been introduced. I'm Dehua.
Wow. It's nice to meet you. I'm sorry to hear about Riek. She was a honorable engineer.
She taught me a lot. Now I have to show her that I was worth her trust.
I'm sure you'll do well. How long have you trained up there? I'm sorry if you don't mind me asking you some questions here. I'm not interrogating you.
No, it's fine. It's been a while. And like when you look at Dua, like you can see they're young. They're like young. Maybe early to mid 20s at oldest. They're young. And as they kind of start to move towards the engineering section of the ship, they hold themselves like very, very erect and stuff like that. Like they have like cut off sleeves. You can tell like they have like what looks like, various like gashes and burns that look like all up and down their arm, probably from like relays and other random stuff that they've like run afoul of, but like they don't wear sleeves. And they kind of, they stride with like this really interesting air of confidence, despite the fact that they're so young. Yeah.
Wow, so far I can see that you know your way around a wolf core. She's taught you well.
You have no idea how many times I've been sent into that damn thing to just untwist a faulty wire. We really should look into getting some repairs done on the ship. Could use an upgrade if we can manage one.
Yeah, if we can manage it.
You run a science station?
Yes, that's what they tell me to do. I'm really just a glamorized scanner. Scan things here, scan things there. But as you know, things on our ship aren't up to date, so it makes my job all that much more difficult.
Well, I mean, what is an engineer not here for but to make your job a little less difficult? I don't know what I can do that Riek hasn't already done. But if I can help make it easier on you, I'll certainly try.
Yes, well, thank you. That remains to be seen.
And then if you fail miserably, I'll just kill you and take your position. But, you know.
That won't happen. Over my dead body? Well,
I mean, that can be arranged. Fighting might not be my style, but that doesn't mean I can't.
Well, who's to say that I can't fight either?
Mm-hmm. Your reputation precedes you.
Oh yeah? What reputation is that?
Mr. Hunter over here can track through just about anything. Riek talks about all of you guys a lot. She had nothing but good things to say about all of you.
That's good to hear.
Though every now and again she did have the tendency to bitch about the most ridiculous things, but I think that was just the way she liked to roll.
Comes with the job. And plus her age, she was up there, you know.
She was pretty great. She died with honor.
She did die. Yes. She's in Stovacor now. You seem to have some sort of emotional connection with Riek. Was she more than just a mentor?
She was as close to a mother as I've ever had.
She was your mother.
In a sense, yes. I wasn't born her child, but she took me in. She cared for me. She taught me. And when an opportunity to be part of something was presented to her, she brought me into it.
Well, I know you'll serve her with honor.
I plan to serve this ship with honor.
As long as you don't take my job.
We'll see how you do.
Oh, I like a challenge.
Good.
The two of you now have found yourself at the end of the ship in front of the engineering console. Yeah, that's where you're going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would you like to do?
I guess the first thing I'm doing is analyzing this tricorder data and familiarizing myself with the systems of the ship.
Great. Okay. So you open up the tricorder data, and Riek was able to translate which systems on this ship do what labels mean what correlating thing in Klingon, so that you can basically translate how to run this ship. She also found some basically the same, not the same log, the black box type real-time black box log that the commander and lieutenant found in the cockpit, but they Riek found another log of sensor scans specifically. And these are long range sensor scans.
This looks like something you might have a better angle on than I would, Lieutenant Gomek.
Is this something maybe we could take on the?
You're muted. You're still muted.
Like I said, all the software and all the stuff on this damn ship is so antiquated. It's I apologize. So should we maybe take some of this information that we have and relay it on the ship, or is there anything that?
Can I try? Hey, do you guys get control of the ship or what?
We're working on it. We have some information that might need to be relayed through the Borku's relays in order to be able to untangle some of it.
All right. Send it over to the Borku. If we can't have the ship flying on its own, we might have to tether and bring it with us.
I hand the tricorder over to Lieutenant Gomek.
Thank you. Let's see if we can try to man this ship. Can we try?
There's all these other people here from the other ship, by the way. Like, I'm sure one of them can help with whatever you all are trying to find.
Let me see here.
On our ship, I show them the head of the dude and be like, your problem solved, by the way. And then I take that and throw that to somebody in the mech bay and be like, can you take the flesh off of that? I want the skull to hang up in my room. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So polite. Can you just clean up this skull for me? Can you just polish it? Thank you.
You grab that head that was rolling away to beam back with us to the ship, QueueTimes?
Yes, indeed I did. Souvenirs, Captain. They're important. Symbols mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking on the traits of a Herodian.
They claim to be so big and bad. Guess what? Not when it comes to me.
This whole conversation is happening between the Borku and overcoms between the Borku and the Rigelian freighter.
And Dawa is just continuing to sort of familiarize themselves with this beautiful warp core engine. All that good stuff. While Omek does his magic.
If the comms are open, can we be on the bridge? And I just want to interrogate these people, the Jelna, and say, what happened on that ship, and who amongst you is an engineer?
So you get, Jeanmarie steps forward again. He seems to be a sort of one of the leaders of the crew, and kind of retells what he told you before, which was that the ship came upon them. Two of them beamed aboard, started shooting people and hunting them and stalking them. And then their ship, I guess, blew up. They don't know why. They don't know what happened. And then they all hid around the ship. And that's all Jeanmarie is able to tell you.
And Jeanmarie, were you transporting anything valuable inside your hold to make you a target?
Jeanmarie says, not particularly. Not on this run. Our cargo is it's so silver, gold, and copper. And it's, as you know, those are things that are used just as wiring and parts in certain types of devices.
Why
would as you would know, silver, gold, and copper in this time is not what it is like for us. It's, it's just parts.
Minerals to transport. But why would the Hirogan target you? You are not worth hunting. Why would they come on board and try and take over your ship? And how did their ship blow up? Ramyan, can you correlate that data from the black box thing and figure out what blew their ship up? Use the Borku.
So
we found from the records in your bridge that you were attacked and boarded, but I was not able to figure out what beyond that.
That's all we know, too. That's pretty much all we know. As the GM, I will... So, just to give you guys a heads up, so you have the blackboard, the black box data that's pretty much the data that you know. And then you now have this tricorder that was doing continuous long-range sensor scans and might have some more data for you to find out what happened. So you can either try to access that, go back to the Borku, do that on the ship.
Can I help in some way? I think perhaps using like the computers of this ship and its sensory data from what it was scanning as the Hirogen ship arrived, like kind of going a deep dive into what Ra'amyan has already done and getting a little bit more detail out of those scans based on the information that I have from the tricorder to kind of properly correlate between the two different systems and maybe translate that a little bit more clearly. See if I can't dig in to the logs a little bit more from an engineering perspective and see what was recorded on the sensors that way. And perhaps since Omek is here, I can get some assistance on that because he's going to understand sensor logs a lot better than I would.
You trying to steal my job?
I'm trying to help you do your job better. Mo better. I'm here to help you do your job mo better.
Shots fired. Okay.
Does it make more sense for Omek to come back? Commander keeps asking me to do it, and I'm not good at this.
I think if I work from here and Omek works from the Borku, we can probably figure it out between the two of us.
Okay.
I think as commander, I'm hearing this and say, well, Dawa, if you're trying to take the seat that Riek held, let's see what you can do. Or else I'll have to give his job to someone else.
I'd like to see you try.
Omek, I cannot understand this science station of yours. It doesn't say thrusters or anything. Perhaps if you would return, we could process this more quickly.
Okay, so with that, Dawa, it sounds like you're going to stay on the ship and probably head to the cockpit, right? So you can access those logs. Yeah. Omek, you beam back over to the Borku to your science station, correct? Okay, so the two of you, putting your heads together, it sounds like this will kind of be engineering, but with science assistance.
Either way works for me. It's just like either Omek can lead an Al assist or I can lead an Omek assist. I don't care.
But this way we also get to use the ship too.
Yeah,
right.
I think using the Borku is probably the better call here.
Okay. So, go for it. Yeah. So it sounds like it'll be a science role with ship and engineering assistance. Yeah?
Engineering from the Rigelian ship, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, on the Rigelian ship, let's have you I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to have you roll control and engineering on the ship.
Okay.
Because you're actually like assembling information, putting some logs together, comparing things to make a complete picture. And then we're going to have the science.
I want to clarify. I can use a focus on the assist, right?
Yes, you can.
Right. So can I use my investigation focus?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And then Omek, I'm going to have you actually roll insight science because you're going to be piecing this all together.
I finally get to roll my die.
Is this the first roll of your bone die?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so honored.
This is a good sign.
Oh, hold on. Before you roll, difficulty is 2. You have all the pieces. It's just about coordinating and getting them together.
I'll wait until Omek has rolled.
Insight science. Oh, and then the ship will roll. Let's have the ship roll sensors science.
And by the way, can I use my talent? I have cautious science. When using a science skill, whenever you buy 1 D20 using momentum, so I can get.
Buy momentum. Buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna buy it. Okay.
I rolled for the ship, right? And I got a 1.
That's
A1. Oh, so you got okay. Well, we got to make sure the science roll is successful first. But
That's there for you.
You're muted.
I got three.
Beautiful.
And I got one.
It seems like you're full up on momentum again.
So is it 3?
close
Is
to
it,
That was 3, 4, 5, 6 successes on that roll.
so all right. So we had
Not
3
4.
momentum. You used 1 to get the thing, to get the extra, right?
Yeah,
2.
that was level, and that was a 2. That
Difficulty 2.
difficulty 2 task. So we got 4 momentum. We're back to full.
Nice.
Okay, so all right, now
Can we spend momentum throughout this next segment to obtain information?
sure can. Okay, so what you two are able to put together using your engineering and science skills and the assistance of the Borku is that off of the bow of the Rigelian raider, there was in fact a Hirogen ship, and that is what brought the Hirogen to this location. That ship, before that ship was destroyed, there were gravimetric disturbances picked up on the sensor scan. And these are the type of gravimetric disturbances that you all previously have heard of from, I believe, the Ferengi Scrag. And not just the Ferengi Scrag, who was it? Someone else. There have been warnings about the Shackleton Expanse having strange phenomena that can be dangerous to ships and travelers. And it looks like one of those happened and appeared right where the Hirogen ship was and blew it to pieces. You also see, now that you're piecing together these 2 scans and logs, you see that the Rigelians did do a scan of the Hirogen ship quickly as they were being attacked from both the inside and the outside. They saw that there was 1 life form on that ship. They saw that it originated, it was not from this quadrant. They did not know what it was, but they did figure out from their sensor scans that this was a ship not of this quadrant. And basically, you are now seeing the full picture, which is that these Hirogen probably just wandered into this quadrant after a long time. There was 1 more on the ship who was killed instantly when the gravimetric disturbance ripped the ship apart. And the other 2 were then stranded on the Rigelian freighter that they were in the midst of hunting. And so they continued the hunt because there was nothing else that they could do. They had no other home, so they were planning to make this their home.
Why would a gravimetric disturbance cause a ship to appear? A ship from the Delta Quadrant into the Beta Quadrant.
It didn't cause it to appear. The ship arrived. They beamed over, started to hunt. 1 person stayed on that ship. The gravimetric disturbance appeared. Almost
Gravimetric disturbance appeared. Okay.
Yes, spontaneously appeared where the ship was and destroyed it. So the ship was already there. The gravimetric disturbance didn't bring it there.
It still doesn't answer the question of what a Delta Quadrant ship was doing in the Beta Quadrant. I think this is like the engineers sort of talking aloud to themselves over comms. And they're obviously talking to Omek about it.
If you'd like to spend another momentum for more information on the Hirogen.
Yeah. I think that part of the way that Dewa has been sort of helping Omek is by uncovering what logs they can from the Rigelian ship that they were able to record before they were under duress and could no longer kind of keep track of what was going on. I think that's what they're doing, is they're essentially hacking the system to find as much information about how and where and why these Hirogans showed up where they did.
Yeah. You also, okay, so if you'd like to, would you like to spend a momentum to see what else you uncover from those logs?
Yeah,
All right.
let's spend all the momentum, right?
All right. I'm going to give you literally all the info
9:30, so I feel
Yes.
like
Here's the info dump from your momentum spend. So you dive back into those logs and sensor scans, and you see that the Rigelians also, one of the Rigelians must have like snuck out at some point during the hunt on the ship after this outside ship was destroyed and did another sensor scan, because you see a specific scan on the ruins, the debris of that ship. And what they found was that they found that giving you a lot here. They found that ship basically, you know, they had a bit of a core black box data, and they sure enough, they came from the Delta Quadrant, and this was just this was part of their path. They ended up here because this is how the Hirogen hunt, and they had been on this journey for decades. They were a family that the three of them traveled out here. They set off from the Delta Quadrant, the edge of the Delta Quadrant, and ended up in the Beta Quadrant just on their journey, on their hunt. They weren't in search of anything besides hunt. The mother was the one on the ship. The father and a teenage, like a 18-year-old daughter was the one of the other hunters on the ship.
There's no way of us being able to kind of scan the history of the Hirogen ship and see what kind of relics were left on that ship. And relics, I mean by like body parts of certain species, so that we kind of can map out and figure out where in the quadrant they traveled. Is there any way of doing that? Because it's all blown up, right?
Yeah, so I'll have you guys here. So we're running low on time. So what I'll have you do is you definitely can, let's say you did a search of a scan of the ruins. For momentum, you have tons of momentum. You're spending it all, it sounds like, because we're at the end of the session. So for that momentum spend, yes, you're able to like grab some of the relics and then bring them into your cargo bay. And then in the future, maybe you can dig into more of what that is exactly. So with these last couple of minutes, Dua, you're now back on the board crew. Some time has passed. Riek, it now stands for us to resolve Riek's death rites and funeral rites. So you all assemble in a cargo bay. And there is no set Klingon funeral ritual. It's kind of regional. It's up to you all. I'm going to ask Commander Eddins to choose what you would like to do with Riek, with her body. You can send it out into space. You can cremate it. You can,
With Riek, I think we should do a burning of the body. And I think that we would have already done that at her final funeral rites. So I think there would be a sort of urn. And I think the way I see it playing out is it's a ritualized sort of last respects to this warrior who fell in battle. So I would enter with my full regalia on. And as I approach the urn, I fall to my knees and scream up and let wail and have tears abound, because I did truly respect Riek, and tear out part of my hair and leave it as a tribute to Riek. That is my action. And after a long scream up into the skies and pulling, I leave and stand in the back of a room with my head bowed.
Okay. And with that,
I actually have one thing that Dewa wants to do before we close. Probably after the room has become mostly empty and there's nobody left around, really. They will go up to the urn and they will actually open it, and from underneath their armor, they draw a pendant, and they unscrew it, and they pour a little drop of what looks like water into the urn, and they close the urn again. What challenges me strengthens me. Let the river guide you to your place of rest.
Okay. And with that, we will end tonight's session. And I would like to formally introduce and announce that we have a new engineer on the IKS Burku. And it is our lovely dear Aki. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited. Yes, this is a permanent cast addition. This was the big surprise.
Yay, welcome, Aki.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm so excited to be a part of the crew. I have been waiting for this. And I'm thrilled.
This is a very hard secret to keep.
It was months in the making and so worth holding my tongue about.
Yes. And I'm so excited for all of these characters to meet and interact with Dua, and for us all to just continue learning about each other mutually. So yeah, thank you all so much for playing. Thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna take a break for the holidays, but we're planned to be back the last Monday of January. So everyone have a safe, happy holiday, whatever you are celebrating or not celebrating. Take care, stay safe, wear masks. Bye.